barbershop?
Well, the barbershop style is the easiest. It's 4-part, and you don't have to do a lot of straining to make the harmony work. Sometimes chords that were written for popular songs you cannot force it into the barbershop style.
Right.
You just simply can't do it. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work. The song was never intended to be barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to avoid those. Once in a while you have to do it, but
so Rich, when you do how does an arranger do a non-acapella? I mean, when I think of like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, somebody is arranging the choral part to work together with the orchestra, and to me that just blows me away. I just don't understand how you guys do that.
That's beyond my capability. I can't do orchestration. I generally stick to 4-part harmony. And almost all chords in the barbershop style, they're almost all 4-part.
Gotcha. So,
yeah, that's mind-boggling to me too, Herb, and well beyond my capability or knowledge. Has there ever been a time, Dork, that someone asked you to arrange something and you declined?
Well, as a matter of fact, a member of this chorus who shall not be named tonight asked me to do a song, asked me to arrange a song called Afternoon Delight. Afternoon Delight is about making love in the afternoon. And it has some rather, more than suggestive lyrics. So I said, no, I wouldn't do that.
Right. I guess that could turn off some audiences.
Yeah.
And turn on some too.
Yeah.
And that would have to be for our 10 p.m. show.
Right. The afterglow.
Yeah.
Another question.
Could I just interrupt for a second? I have to think incidentally about our audiences too. I don't want to offend an audience member.
Of course.
So now there's some people will be offended no matter what you do.
Right.
You're bound and you're going to defend somebody. But I try to avoid the obvious reasons to do that.
And yet Afternoon Delight was a top 10 or top 20 song in its day.
Yes, it was, right.
Oh,
it was a little bit beyond what I wanted to do, so I said no.
Do you have any barbershop arrangers that have influenced you?
Yes, a man named Walter Latsko, who passed on about 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Well,
yeah, an excellent arranger. He and I worked together. I was his assistant director with Montclair briefly. And he and I arranged music for that chorus quite often. His stuff was beautifully turned out. However, Walter had a fault. He didn't sing individual parts. In other words, he was murderous to the baritones. Oh, the stuff was so difficult to sing, unless it was the Suntones or some professional quartet that had a baritone that could sing anything. But I try to sing my parts individually. Tenor part, do it all by itself, besides the lead part I'm talking about. Baritone, so that they don't have any unusual jumps or strange moves that the ordinary baritone singer can't manage. Bass part's easy.
Dick, aside from the range issue of trying to fit it within the lead's range, or the not be objectionable, or be and then it has to be popular. We often get this question about which song we should do next, and I'm always at a loss. What makes a good song for barbershop? What's a characteristic, or what can we look for in a song? I'll often hear a song and think, boy, that sounds great, particularly if I hear it sung in different parts, and it might be a doo-wop song sung in different parts, but I don't know whether that makes it a good song for barbershop. How can we tell?
Well, doo-wop, as long as you mention doo-wop is pretty easy harmony. Peter will tell you that. And it's singable, it's easy to understand by the audience. And that's one of my choices too, understandability and singability, popularity. What else? Can anybody think of anything else? Something that doesn't occur to me?
Nate, how do you pick a number for the Morris Music Fund?
So I have this crystal ball here. What?
That's what I figured.
Yeah. No. To follow up, I obviously there's literally whole classes at a Harmony College or Harmony University that are covering how to pick songs to arrange. Right. What I'll tell you is, when it comes to picking things for the chorus, it's weighting a couple things. How will the audience like it?
Yep.
How would it be arranged, right? Like, how would the song lend itself to arranging? And that really comes into two things. Something could be great for 4 parts, but would it really hit as a chorus song? Because there are songs that someone else will send me a chart, and they'll hear it on a quartet, and they'll say, look at this quartet singing this song. And not even hard, easy. It's just the things you could do with a quartet are different than the things you could do with a chorus. Things you can do with a chorus are different than a quartet. So if I hear a song, I'll say, can I picture this being something that it sings well for a chorus? So there's a couple things. Is there, constant background? Is there a lot of dead space? So a lot of time you'll hear a song on the radio, you go, wow, this is great. But it's a guy going, just singing a word. And then every once in a while with, guitars and drums going back. I forget who asked me. Someone sent me a while ago, oh, we should do I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. I forget. Someone says it to me. And if you listen to the song, I can't get no, and it was just the same. So when it's just someone singing in front of a guitar, you go, wow, that makes sense. But can I picture the chorus going for 3 minutes, and just the same chords over and over? No, that would get very boring for all of us. I mean, we sing songs that don't have the same chords over and over again, but the parts are slightly repetitive, and people go, oh, this isn't all right, and we get all pissed off. But in actuality, it's really thinking, does it lend itself to a chorus? Will the audience like it? Do I think the guys will enjoy singing it, right? And sometimes there's songs that I pick or will pick that I don't think there's times where I say the guys are going to like this a little more than the audience is going to like hearing it. And then there's sometimes where I go, the audience is going to like hearing this a little more than the guys like singing it. And that,
I remember when I used to belong to a chorus, and so did Dick, known as the Dapper Dans of Harmony. And we had a song called The German Band. And most of us hated singing it, but the audience always requested it. They loved it so much.
Well, we sang orchestration.
And so on.
We sang orchestration, in other words, umpa, stuff like that. And that filled up the space that where the guys didn't sing words.
Exactly. And there's things that you sing and you don't necessarily sing them because I want to do something that's murderous and, my throat hurts after I sing it and I can't, and I hate it. But there's plenty of times when I said, I'll never forget, I asked one of my teachers, I said, how do you feel about, do you really think the pros will sit there and sing something that they don't like, they don't absolutely love singing? And my one teacher goes, let me ask you a question. How long has Tony Bennett been singing? And I said, I don't know, 56 years. He goes, you don't think he's sick and tired of singing I Left My Heart in San Francisco? And, but if you went to see Tony Bennett and he didn't sing, and you bought tickets to see Tony Bennett and he didn't sing I Left My Heart in San Francisco, or if you went to see the Rolling Stones and they didn't sing Satisfaction, Ruby, you would say, what the hell's going on? But that's just it. Yeah, they're probably, and Everett said Sinatra hated singing My Way. There's plenty of stories about people that sang songs for years and they were like, boy, if I never heard this song again, I'd be fine. But they opened or closed every show with it. And that's the nature of it. Sometimes the audience likes it so much that you just do it. But that's a whole other conversation.
No, it is. But you're saying there's a whole class for that sort of thing, right, Nate?
Yeah, and Greg replied, but they get paid. Great point. My thing is, if we didn't enjoy a set, right, that's one thing, right? But I'll give you an example. I think there's probably guys in the chorus that if we never sang Longest Time Again, would not write letters to their congressman just because they've sang it for a couple years. Right. Let's be honest. But, when we sing it, it's kind of, hey, we've sung this a while. But how much do audiences like when we go to Bottle Hill or something and we sing Longest Time and people's faces light up, right? To me, when I think about our mission, there's times that the making other people happy winds up making us happy in the end for overall effect. Yeah, I'm not saying we should sing a set that we're miserable, but every once in a while, a song we're a little tired of, or, hey, I prefer to sing this I think we can make a trade, but it's a balance.
What about level of difficulty, Nate? When do you determine?
Herb,
because some arrangements can be really tough.
You're talking about level of difficulty. Why don't we ask Dork about that? Does complexity vary depending upon the kind of song that it is?
Oh, absolutely. Some of them are very difficult to sing, and under those circumstances, I won't even undertake it if it's unless somebody really wants it badly. But what was the Monkeys number that we sang?
I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
I had to add where the orchestration was at phrase endings. I had to put lyric and notes in there, and, to fill up that space. The regular lyric ended, and then it went on. So I put swipes and additional lyrics and additional notes at phrase endings. You often have to do that.
Hey, Dork, how long does it take you to arrange a song once you get started?
Depends on its complexity, Marv. I can usually, let me see. That Monkeys number that we were talking about, right. I'm a believer. I think I arranged that in about 2 hours.
Wow.
Wow.
It was not a difficult song, but what I had to do was add additional lyrics and orchestration. The guys, we are not in barbershop. We don't have the liberty of singing rests, if you know what I mean. There's nobody to help us out, no orchestration or piano or guitar. So we got to fill it up with words and music. And that's what I did.
For people who are listening to this and are aspiring to be arrangers, let me tell you that that song would take me about 2 weeks to arrange.
I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I know.
That's because you're old.
Well,
yeah, right.
I'll tell you, there was a time when I would not attempt certain songs, but I attempt almost everything people ask me to do right now. I may not make a great job of it, but I do it.
Once you arrange it, do you generally bring your arrangements to other experts or coaches for editing or for advice?
Sure. Steve Delahanty was a wonderful musician. He's with the Westchester Chorus, and he's a composer as well. So there are a lot of times if I'll hear snag, I don't know how to proceed any further, and I'll say, hey, what would you do in this passage? And he will help me out, make suggestions to try this, try this, try this. And he's invariably right. Well, if he does quite a bit of the song and help me, I will give him co-credit, incidentally.
Yeah.
Do other arrangers come to you, Dick?
Yes, people will come and ask me, what do I do here? And I'll make a suggestion. The great Renee Craig was a great arranger, but she had a lot of trouble with lyrics, and often I would help her with lyrics, and how to.
You got started with lyrics.
Yes, that's true. Go ahead. Let's keep going because
you mentioned breaths, Dick. How do you deal with breaths? Do you have to consider breathing requirements when you're arranging? Like, would you eliminate a swipe to accommodate breathing, or
yes, often I do. If you'll notice, "Happy Birthday to You" has no rest in it at all. I don't believe.
Yeah,
maybe in one or two places, but
you're right.
Most of the time, people know inherently where to take a breath and "Happy Birthday to You." So I don't include it.
Consider singing skills of the group.